إلا صرت في مان يا أخي دوس عندي خوش فصل.
Hello students, so we are going to continue our science series. Today we are going to cover the 6th chapter of the 10th science textbook, which is refraction of light. So we all know what is reflection of light. Light always travels in a straight line. It reflects from an opaque object and it travels back in the same direction. But it's not the case with a transparent object. Light is transmitted through a transparent object. We can see whenever we go into water, our images appear distorted. So the light changes its direction when it goes from one medium to another, and which is transparent medium. So we'll try to understand what is refraction of light through this example. So the definition for refraction of light is whenever light goes from one transparent medium to another and it changes its direction or bends, it is called as refraction of light. So let us understand how it works and what are the terminologies you should know for drawing this diagram related to refraction of light. So first we have taken a very less dense medium, which is air, and this is a glass slab, EQRS, and this is again the less dense medium, air. Glass is obviously denser than air. So we are considering this is a ray of light and this ray of light is incident on the glass slab. Therefore, this angle is I, angle of incidence. This ray is incident ray, therefore this angle is angle of incidence. And this is the normal with respect to air and light, just it acts as a reference to measure the angle of incidence and the other angles I'll tell you. So we can see the ray of light comes here straight, and instead of going straight into the denser medium, the ray of light bends. It bends towards the normal. So this is called as refraction of light. So the light bends towards the normal when it enters from air to glass. Now this angle is R. It is nothing but angle of refraction, and this ray is the refracted ray. Incident ray, angle of incidence, refracted ray, angle of refraction. So when this ray again enters into the air, now this becomes the angle of incidence, I dash, into the glass, and this ray, it bends again when it enters the air, because again there is a change of medium from a denser medium to a lighter medium. Now you can see that there is a difference. So now this ray comes here and then it bends away from the normal. So this is the normal with respect to glass and it bends away. So this ray was supposed to be straight, but now it has bent away from the normal, and it is denoted by E, which is nothing but the angle of emergence. This ray is emerging out of the denser medium, therefore it is called as angle of emergence. Okay, so you must have observed that when first the air enters from a lighter to denser medium, the ray bends towards the normal. It is bending towards the normal. And whenever the ray of light enters from a denser to a lighter medium, it is bending away from the normal. But the angle of incidence and angle of emergence are equal. Yeah. So the next term is refractive index. So how do we calculate refractive index? So it totally depends upon the velocity of light. So the formula for refractive index is velocity of light in medium 1 upon velocity of light in medium 2. So here in our case, medium 1 is air and the medium 2 was glass. So we can write refractive index. The symbol for refractive index is N, and we write it as 1 n 2, which is the velocity of medium in 1 to velocity of medium in 2, v1 upon v2. Okay, so refractive index of 1 with respect to 2. If we write it as n21, then this will get inverted v2 upon v1. So it is the refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. Here in our case, let's assume that glass is medium 2 and air is medium 1. So we will have the refractive index of medium 2. refractive index of glass 2 with respect to air will be velocity in the glass, velocity of light in the glass upon velocity of light in the air. Okay, so let us understand about the refraction of light medium wise. So let us consider that this is a lighter medium and this is dense. Okay, so this is the normal and this is the incident ray. So it is incident upon the medium, therefore it is incident ray. So what I have told you, from air to glass the ray bends towards the normal. So in the dense medium the ray bends towards the normal and this is the angle of refraction. It was supposed to go like this but it bends towards the normal. So this is the phenomena, this is the law in the refraction of light, that whenever light enters from a light to dense medium it bends towards the normal. So now if we consider that it goes from a dense medium to light medium, so this will be the normal, this is the incident ray. Now it is supposed to go like this, but we have said it here that when the light enters from glass to air it bends away from the normal, so it will go away from the normal. So this will be incident ray and this will be the refracted ray. You always have to show the arrows in the diagrams, otherwise it will be considered wrong. We don't know where the ray of light is going. So now it indicates that it is going from this medium to this and the angle of refraction here is R. Then if the light is incident straight or perpendicular to the medium, there is no refraction, it goes straight. So there is no angle of incident is obviously 90 degree, but there is no angle of refraction as there is no refraction. Refraction is bending of light, but when the light is incident perpendicular there is no bending of light, it travels in straight line. So there is no refraction in this case and hence there is no angle of refraction. Here only the angle of incidence is 90 degree. So these are the three cases which you should know regarding the refraction of light and refractive index also. We'll solve further the numericals regarding to refractive index. So we have seen refraction of light. Now we'll continue with partial reflection and total internal reflection. So total internal reflection is a phenomena by which we can see rainbows forming when there is sunlight and raindrops at the same time. So we'll first understand how this phenomena works of partial reflection and total internal reflection. So let us consider this is a dense medium, water, and this is air. So now light is traveling from water to air, that is a denser to a lighter medium. So this is a source of light here inside the water. Now light is traveling from water to air. So we know that when light travels from denser to lighter medium, the ray, it bends away from the normal. So this is the angle of incidence and this ray, it is bending away from the normal. But here when the light travels from denser to lighter medium, there is also some partial reflection into the medium. So reflection, we know that the light bends into the original medium. So there is the partial reflection and also refraction at the same time. Now we increase the angle of incidence. This is the second ray of the light. It goes here. Again at the interface, the refracted ray goes away from the normal as light is traveling from water to air, and some part of the light is reflected back into the water. Now if we further increase the angle of incidence, we go on increasing the angle of incidence, it reaches a certain angle when there is no refraction in the air, while there is no reflection in the denser medium. There is a certain angle of incidence at which the angle of refraction becomes 90 degree. So this is the ray. The rays goes perpendicular to the medium. So we know that the angle of refraction increases. It goes away from the normal. So at a certain angle, it goes totally 90 degree to the medium. So the refracted ray becomes perpendicular to the medium. So this angle at which the refracted ray becomes perpendicular to the medium, there is no internal reflection. This angle is called as critical angle IC. And after this angle, if we take another ray after this angle, now this angle I1 is greater than IC. Now this angle is definitely greater than this angle. So after this critical angle, every ray which goes from denser to lighter medium, it does not undergo refraction. It undergoes only reflection, and this is called as total internal reflection, because not a single part of the light goes out. The light totally bends inside, and this is called total internal reflection. These rays were partial reflection. Why partial reflection? Because some part was refracted and some part was reflected. But after this critical angle, all the part of the light is reflected, and hence it is total internal reflection. This phenomena is called as total internal reflection, by which we can see formation of a rainbow. Okay, so we have to keep the angle of incidence. So any angle greater than the angle of incidence, it gives us total internal reflection, angle of critical angle. And this critical angle, so for total internal reflection we can write n is refractive index, we have seen. So it is sin I upon sin R. Sin I is nothing but the incident angle sin I, and R is the refracted angle. So in our case, for IC, the refracted angle is 90 degree. So sin 90 is 1. So the formula only goes to n is equal to sin I, because this sin R changes to 1. For critical incident angle, the refractive index is just sin I, and I is what the critical angle. So what will be the value of critical angle? We have to put here, and then we'll get the refractive index. This is just for total internal reflection. But we know the common formula for refractive index, which is velocity of medium 1 to velocity of medium 2. So we'll use that formula to solve this example. Okay, so the absolute refractive index of water is 1.36. So refractive index, first we have to write what is given in the example. So refractive index is denoted by n, and it is 1.36, and it is always constant, it doesn't have a unit. Remember, by Snell's law, refractive index of a medium, it remains constant, it does not have any unit. So the refractive index of water with respect to air will remain constant always. Okay, so what is the velocity of light in the water? So, and we are given the velocity of light in vacuum, which is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. You have to keep this value in the mind, because this is very important. It is standard speed, which is the velocity of light in vacuum. So it is v1, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. You have to keep this value in mind. And v2 is the velocity of light in water. We don't know, so we know the formula. N is v1 to v2, and we write here refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. So v1 is 3 into 10 to the power 8 upon v2, we don't know. So 1.36 is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8 upon v2. So what will be v2? v2 will be 3 into 10 to the power 8, and this 1.36 will go down, which is 2.2 into 10 to the power 8. And what is the unit for velocity? It is meters per second. So this is the answer. So in the problems, you will be given the refractive index and velocity of light in either of the mediums. Then you have to calculate the velocity of light in the other medium or the refractive index. Yeah, that's it about this chapter. Thank you.